to Blake Lively versus Justin Baldon. The It Ends With Us co-star's legal battle has entered the courtroom.
With the legal battle between Blake Lively and actor Justin Baldon heading to court tomorrow, the actress and husband Ryan Reynolds looking to get Baldoni's defamation lawsuit dismissed.
Why did you
read it? Yeah.
Well, I just started Wayfair Studios, and at the time my book agent, shout out to Johanna Castillo, sent it to me. And she said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience.
Were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me.
Y'all, I don't know what's messier, Hollywood scandals, or the people who get caught faking receipts to gaslight the entire internet. But trust me, what you're about to hear is next-level manipulation.
Show of hands if you stayed up until midnight waiting for Blake Lively to drop this freaking amendment.
And then he raised his hand where he would ask a question of Amy Poehler and Tina Fey about a silly Coneheads bit.
Blake Lively case involving Taylor Swift and Brian Friedman and all the characters that are involved.
So I wanted to weigh in on the Blake Lively drama as someone that has worked with her.
Imagine getting so deep into your own lies that you start believing them yourself. And just when you think you've seen it all, bam! New leaked evidence drops that flips the script completely. Blake Lively, faking proof, manipulating public opinion. Oh, this is gonna be juicy. So grab your popcorn because we have a lot to unpack. So unless you've been living under a rock, you already know about Blake Lively's ongoing drama with Justin Baldon. It started with serious accusations against him, but girl, things are unraveling faster than a cheap wig. Turns out the proof she's been waving around like a red flag, straight up fake. And let's just say the internet is not buying it. At first, Blake came in hot, claiming that multiple actresses and crew members on the set of It Ends With Us were victims of Baldoni's misconduct.
Time stops.
Yeah.
But like, that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's something.
Oh.
And they score again.
Yeah.
Again.
It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
Oh, I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
They won the Stanley Cup.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
She had the whole internet clutching their pearls until people started asking for real receipts. And that's where things started falling apart real quick. But here's the thing. Hollywood loves a scandal. The minute a big name gets accused of something, the media jumps on it like hungry piranhas. And for a hot minute, Blake was winning the PR war. Headlines painted her as the courageous actress, standing up against injustice. But the problem? She didn't expect Baldon to fight back. And once he did, the cracks in her story started to show. People started digging deeper. They wanted more than just vague accusations and dramatic statements. They needed proof. And let's just say, what they found wasn't doing Blake any favors. The so-called HR complaints she was pushing, redacted to the point of uselessness. The testimonies from crew members, conflicting. And the worst part? Even her biggest supporters started backing away. It was like watching a house of cards collapse in slow motion. When Baldoni's team started debunking her claims, Blake switched up the whole game. Instead of focusing on her actual lawsuit, she started leaking HR complaints through TikTok conspiracy theorists instead of, the actual court system. Because that's totally how you handle legal matters, right? Girl, this ain't Gossip Girl. You're not Serena van der Woodsen. And let me tell you, the desperation was loud. She started dropping these blurry screenshots that looked like they were ripped straight out of a Wattpad revenge fanfic. I mean, at this point, even TMZ refused to touch the tea. And when TMZ won't touch your drama, you know you're reaching. But what made this even more embarrassing was how quickly people called her out. Even legal experts started weighing in, pointing out major inconsistencies in her claims. Like, girl, if you're gonna accuse someone, at least make sure your story doesn't change every 2 seconds. And then came the final blow, receipts from Baldoni's team that completely dismantled her case. Not just vague denials, but actual documents, emails, and timestamps proving that Blake was twisting the narrative. At this point, the internet had officially turned. The same people who once supported her were now clowning her. Memes flooded Twitter, TikTok detectives tore apart every claim, and suddenly Blake was the villain in her own story. So here's where things get straight up wild. Just hours before her lawsuit deadline, Blake pulls her boldest move yet. She demands Justin Baldoni's phone records. Yup. She's out here playing FBI agent, convinced that Baldoni and half of Hollywood were plotting against her. She literally subpoenaed 14 people, demanding call logs, text messages, and probably even his Candy Crush high score. Like, girl, be serious. But Justin's lawyers, they were not having it. They clapped back at the judge, calling Blake's demands wildly invasive and a fishing expedition. And honestly, they kind of have a point. If Blake really had solid proof, she wouldn't be out here grasping at straws, trying to find something, anything to make her case stick. And the worst part? She's even asking for Baldoni's location data for the past 2 years. Ma'am, what are you even trying to prove at this point? Oh, but it gets even juicier. So while all of this was unfolding, Blake and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, thought it'd be cute to make their first major public appearance since the scandal at Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special. And oh boy, did they just make things worse for themselves? First of all, let's talk about how weird it was for them to show up at all. Like, girl, your entire reputation is in flames, and this is where you choose to make a grand entrance? At an event hosted by Scarlett Johansson's husband? But the real kicker? Ryan Reynolds made a joke about the whole scandal on stage. And let's just say it did not land well. Even Justin Baldoni's lawyer was like, I don't know anyone who would joke about their wife being a victim of misconduct. And honestly, facts. If Ryan's out here laughing about it, then what does that say about Blake's whole story? Even the SNL producers spilled the tea that Ryan requested to change his script so he could drop that joke. Like, he really went out of his way to make light of the situation. At this point, people are side-eyeing hard because if Blake is really going through what she claims, why would her husband be cracking jokes about it? Make it make sense. Where does this leave Blake Lively? Honestly, it's not looking good. Her proof keeps falling apart. Like, at this point, she's running out of fake receipts. She's grasping at straws, leaking random TikTok gossip instead of focusing on legal action. It's giving desperation. Even Ryan Reynolds is acting sus. That SNL joke basically exposed how little they actually believe her own claims. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's team is ready to drag this case out for as long as it takes. His lawyer basically said they're not settling. So if Blake was hoping for a quick payout, girl, you're in for a long fight. And let's be real. If she had real evidence, we'd already know. Not through TikTok leaks, not through sketchy HR memos, but through actual legal action. But that's not what's happening here. So is Blake Lively's career officially over? Is Ryan low-key sabotaging her? Or does she have one more trick up her sleeve? Y'all, drop your thoughts in the comments because this story is far from over. And you already know I'll be back to spill the next round of tea. So stay tuned because I have a feeling this is only going to get messier.